I firmly believe that you're only given as much as you can handle, as much negativity, as much failure, as much disappointment. This too shall pass. If you grasp for a new beginning, if you pull yourself up and move back into the world with a plan. So as foolish as it might sound, be thankful for your current limitations or failures, for they are building blocks from which to create greatness. You can go where you want to go. You can become what you want to become. You can do it all, starting now, starting right where you are. You've got to keep trying and trying and trying. You've got to have enough resolve to do it until. So be grateful for adversity, but for your future, make it work for you, not against you. Make your failures give birth to great opportunity, not prolonged agony. The world will willingly sit by and let you wallow in your sorrows until you die broke and alone. And here's what else the world will do. The world will step aside and let you by. Once you decide that your present situation is only temporary, once you decide to get back on your feet and make your mark. The world doesn't really care. So you have to. You have to care. In your own enlightened self-interest, give a run at adventure. Keep your eyes firmly on the achievement, on your ambition, and not merely existence and self-pity. Make a commitment to excellence.
You have to be relentless. You have to never let off the gas, never stop, never quit. Never allow anyone to talk you out of the dream, the vision, and ideas that God has sent you. And understand that for every level, there's another devil.
Never underestimate the power of small actions executed consistently. Never underestimate the power of momentum, because things in motion tend to stay in motion. And never underestimate yourself, because you are no different than any other change maker who has ever walked on this earth. I want you to think about one problem that you are passionate about. One problem that you want to start solving. And over the next 2 weeks, the next 14 days, I want you to come up with some small, consistent actions that you can begin implementing in your personal life to start solving this problem. And I promise you, you'll begin taking these actions, and it will start gaining momentum, and you will build a little initiative. And as you start to have an impact, people will begin asking you the question, how do you plan on changing the world? You take a little step back, put a big smile on your face, and respond with those 3 simple but extremely powerful words. Small, consistent actions.
But the first thing you've got to do is decide if where I am hurts, if where I am is killing me, where do I want to be? Decide clearly and define where it is you want to be. What would it feel like to be more happy? Right? Define that. So where do you want to be? When you're working in these moments of desperation, where things are just so raw that you need to survive, you start taking this kind of honest inventory of yourself and you put things together. That's how you do it. So decide where you want to be, look at your inventory, and figure out what needs to go and what you need to add, what you need to build on. This is how life works. You got to do this stuff, because once you do that, it puts you in a whole different place. It puts you in a place where you have the tools to save yourself. Right? When nobody's coming, when there's no help coming, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and just die? So you've got to do this thing yourself. And how do you do this? You've got to get inside of yourself and pull something out of yourself and get into this process that's saving yourself. It's going to be a process. Is it going to be hard? Yes, it's going to be hard. Is it going to be a struggle? Oh, I can guarantee that. Is it going to be some pain? You better believe there'll be some pain. But what you're going to discover is that you're a different creature. You're a different creature. You're not somebody who's living this pre-packaged life where everybody knows how your story is going to end, where everybody knows what's possible for you. No, that's not it. You're a different creature. Your blueprint is magnificent. Your blueprint is creative. You can do more than this. You can save yourself. You have the power to change your reality. You don't like where you are? You can change it. That's in you. That's what you discover. The kind of creature you are, the real nature of who you are. But you've got to be willing to reinvent yourself. And that's the key. That's the key. If you want to save yourself when you get in moments like these, in these hard, difficult times where it looks like nothing is going to work, you're just going to rot and die and everything you've worked for is falling apart, nobody's going to help you, you've got to reinvent yourself.
Just keep moving forward. Stay busy. Moving in the right direction. Looking, opening doors, knocking on doors, finding a way out of no way.
When life goes from bad to unbearable.
It's when you've been knocked to your knees, your back is against the wall, right? You've run out of money, you've run out of friends, people who believe in you and in your ideas. You've been used up and thrown away. Right? You're desperate, you're afraid. Right? It hits you that this is it, this is do or die, and it's just me. Right? It's just me. That's how life works. In life, things will happen to you that you can't expect, you can't anticipate, you can't plan for. They just show up. And at that point, you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make. You can decide, I'm going to quit. It's over. I can't do this anymore. I've spent too much time, too much blood. I've spent so much building this thing, working on this dream, raising this family. I can't do this anymore. It's over for me. I quit. You can decide that. Or you can decide that no, this isn't it for me. This isn't how my story ends. This isn't it. I didn't spend all this time building this business, raising these kids, building this family just to walk out on them. I didn't spend all these years being sober just to quit. Now, I didn't get this far just to die like a dog in the street. No, this isn't it for me. This isn't over for me. No, I'm going to survive this. All right, nobody has my back, but it's do or die, and I'm going to survive this thing. You can decide that, and when you decide that, you're doing that in a moment of desperation. And here's what I've discovered about desperation. In desperation, you discover truth. Truth. Because the walls fall down. All that stuff falls apart. And all that's left is truth, because you've got to get out of here. No time for games, no more excuses.
A lot of people give up. They surrender. They run with their tails between their legs. It's a God-ordained opportunity. There are opportunities here. In the midst of crises, 3 types of people are going to come out of this. Millionaires, billionaires, and witnesses. People who stood around and watched. You have something special. You have greatness in you. And whatever, no test, no testimony, whatever is in front of you, you have the power to handle it. But I don't know what to do. Okay, got that. You don't know what to do. Figure it out. You don't have to know what to do. Walk by faith and not by sight. Figure it out. Everything that exists, somebody was willing to put in the energy and the time to figure it out.
And even when we see the power of it, the need for consistency, we all know that it's underrated. It's not celebrated. We can flip through Instagram and we can flip through social media and celebrate when someone loses. It's easy to celebrate when someone loses 50 pounds in 2 weeks, and we celebrate it and it's awesome, and I think we should. But it's easy to overlook the person who's maintained a weight for a whole year from consistently eating healthy, consistently working out, and consistently making decisions every day to maintain the year goal weight. It's easy to celebrate one-offs, to celebrate the moment, and we should. Hear me. I am just telling you that we get bored of consistency. You see, we assume in our culture today that growth, new levels, promotion all come quickly as a result of a moment of faith. We celebrate the tip of the iceberg, but what we often miss and what is underrated, Daniel, is this huge amount of consistent faith under the water. What areas of your life do you need to be more consistent in?
Some of your thoughts and visions are so big and so outlandish and so powerful and amazing, you'll end up talking yourself out of that dream from saying, I can't afford that. Well, guess what? There's a lot of shit I can't afford. There's a lot of visions and dreams that I still can't afford. I came here to remind you that when people laugh at your visions and ideas, it's only because they don't have their own visions and ideas around what they're supposed to do with their life or their careers. People that don't have their own visions they become vision killers. They don't have dreams for themselves. They don't have any hopes. They're hopeless. They're uninspired, unmotivated. They have no dreams. They have nothing that they're ambitious about. But I want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big. I have a habit of dreaming with my eyes open. I get very inspired by the things I see. I just wanted to remind you to dream and dream big. You have to be able to see what doesn't exist in order to be able to pull off or achieve what in most people's minds seems to be impossible. Only those that can see the invisible, being able to see what's not there. What is your vision? What is your idea? What was that God-sent dream? Only those that can see the invisible can do what seems to be impossible.
You have to be awfully immature to think that every day is going to be a good day. Some days are better than other days. And some days, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
Sometimes bad things, horrible things happen to good people. And I don't know why, but life isn't fair.
Life isn't fair. Life just is. It wasn't fair.
The fact that you're still alive and still on this earth, even though it's been challenging and rough, and sometimes you get discouraged and uninspired to keep going. God has a plan. You will grow through what you go through. Everything that you're going through, at some point, it makes no sense to you right now. But at some point, God is going to reveal to you why all of these issues, challenges, and problems continue to show up and what you were supposed to learn from it.
A good person in the wrong place, in the wrong time, can end up just a victim of fate and of reality. And it can be horrible and heart-wrenching, and disease like cancer and MS and horrible diseases and accidents, but when those bad things happen, what are you going to do? How are you going to lead? Are you going to get angry? Are you going to start going down the spiral of negativity? Or are you going to let this horrible situation dictate the way you feel and the way you handle it?
All I need you to do is not throw away your confidence. All I need you to do is stay in the game. All I need you to do is put one foot in front of the other. All I need you to do is keep the confidence. Because if you persevere, there's a promise that has your name on it.
Right, the question becomes this: can you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you're doing? Regardless of situation, regardless of circumstance, regardless of what happened, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna give everything I got to it because I'm working for something that's totally different. Can you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you're doing? In other words, if you don't get what you thought you was gonna get, will you still be the same individual? If the situation don't turn out the way you thought it would turn out, will you still be the same individual? The quote says it: you judge the character of a man not by where he stands in times of comfort and convenience. You judge the character of a man by where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. Right? I'm talking concrete commitment. Right? Not that commitment, I'm gonna show up, I'll be there, coach, yeah, I'll go to meetings, yeah, I'm gonna go out, I might run hard. Not that, man, not that cheap stuff, man. Not that counterfeit stuff. I'm talking concrete commitment. I'm talking a commitment that says, I am going to stay true to what I said I would do long after the move that I've said it in this lesson. Right? Because when you're in them seats, it's easy to talk about what you're going to do. Right? But Mike Tyson said it. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Right? People don't burn out in life because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. Go back and do some soul searching. and think about when you first started.
Many people give up on the 1 yard line. Where if they have the determination just to keep on knocking. It's a funny thing about life. If you're home one day and someone is knocking on the door and you say, I don't want to be bothered today. And if that person just keep on knocking, say, can you believe that fool's still knocking? Pretty soon you say, what is it? What do you want? And that's how you've got to be about your dream. Some people, well, I guess ain't nobody home. I knocked on the door, but nobody came. I guess opportunity probably went out the back door. Oh, no. See, life is not just that simple. It's not that cut and dry. And that's why most people never realize their personal greatness, because they're casual about life. And when you're casual about life, you will end up a casualty.
And I'm saying to you, if you keep going, if you keep looking for a way, where there's a will, there's a way. If you keep moving, if you keep falling forward, if you keep getting back up, something's going to happen. Bob Marley said something I like. He said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is all you have. You never know how strong you are until being strong is all you have. It's your only option. And you'll discover, if you don't panic, if you don't run, you'll discover you are stronger than you give yourself credit for being. Don't surrender. Don't give in.
Step up to the challenge. Be the one that other people look to. Absorb that impact. Absorb that negativity. Draw fire. Bring that pain to me. I can handle it when maybe others cannot. When bad things are happening, I am going to try and be the one good thing. And in fighting, we will win. And if not the battle, and if not the war, we will win because our spirit, it will never surrender. And that is the ultimate victory. To hold your head high, and even in the face of inescapable defeat, to stand and to fight. That is to win.
Dreams without goals remain dreams, just dreams, and ultimately fuel disappointment. Dreams without goals, yearly goals, life goals, monthly goals, hourly goals, minute by minute goals. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. You understand? Between goals and achievement are discipline and consistency.
Before you can be a painter who can paint what's beyond mere memory, you have to inculcate that discipline, skill, and a lot of that is painful repetition and hard grinding work. It's the sacrifice of the present for the future. That's discipline as the precondition for freedom. But once you manage that, then things open up. And virtually everything you learn of value is like that. It's very, very, very difficult to learn to write. And there's arbitrary rules that you have to follow and bind yourself to. Disciplinary institutions, universities, are exactly that. Is they're places of guidance, and they're places to encourage people to develop the discipline that's necessary to see beyond the discipline. I mean, that's why we have disciplines, right? I mean, the words aren't there by accident. You have to narrow yourself first, and then you can broaden outward. And so that's part of the process of maturation. I mean, that's part of the sacrifice of childhood.
What we have to understand about developing ourselves and getting better is that it doesn't take brilliance, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and it doesn't even take a lot of effort, but it must be intentional. The fact that you don't get better automatically, you only get better because you intentionally make a decision to get better. To develop yourself, you've got to get out of the intending world and get into the doing world. So if you want to develop yourself and you want to get better, just act on what you've already expressed that you want to do.
If you want $1 million, you'll make $1 million, not $1.5 million. If you want 10 million, 100 million, and you'll never exceed that. If you change 1 billion lives, that's a formula to become a billionaire and change the world. Time costs lives. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You want to know why you're all f***ed up? Just look at the bums you hang around with. I do what you don't want to do, that you know that you got to do to be where you want to be. Ted Turner just gave his 75th anniversary party on CNN a few months ago. And he makes a couple of comments, and he says, number one, and I'm not suggesting this for everybody. It's how I lived, though. First 10 years of my starting CNN, I slept on my couch. I didn't have an apartment. Bill Gates slept in the office. Steve Jobs slept in the office. And I can go down a whole list. Now, these are super successful, mega wealthy guys. I slept in my office. Not everybody's willing to make that sacrifice. But it's not the only thing. But even if you don't sleep in your office, if you want to send your kids to a better school, if you want to be able to take care of your mother when she gets dementia, if you want to, this all takes money. My children aren't getting any of my money when I die. Not one centavo, not one penny. And two of my kids are cool with it. One of them's not so cool with it. I'm not going to, I think Andrew Carnegie, by the way, Andrew Carnegie, arguably the richest, most successful entrepreneur of all time. He said the best thing that you can have for a child is him to be born into poverty. And I agree. Lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth. Now, they think they have self-worth. They think because they've made a few bucks. But in actuality, and when they measure it against the other 8, 10, 12 people sitting around the table, they realize, or they start to question, hell, maybe I was just lucky. Now, all of us, when you're only a one-trick guy or gal, think, was I lucky? Now, I've done it so many times, I know I wasn't lucky. I might have been lucky the first time, but I haven't been lucky the 15, 20, 40, 50. I know that.
Okay.
But maybe I was lucky the first time. But my life changed when I was pretty much a haphazard kid, got in a lot of trouble, got arrested 4 or 5 times, thrown in jail. And this was with my dad as a cop. But then I volunteered for the draft in 1966 at the height of the Vietnam War. And I went to OCS, and that changed my life because it was the really first real high performance thing that I could measure myself against with other people. 2/3 of all Fortune 500 CEOs have one thing in common: military background.
Really?
2/3 of those 2/3 have something else: martial arts. What do you learn in martial arts, Brian? Discipline, focus. A lot of people don't believe they deserve to be there.
You deserve to see what your life would look like if you gave 120%. Are you hearing what I'm telling you, baby? Listen to me very closely, right? You got to get this. You deserve, right? You've been living 70%, 80%. We've been talking about it. And you're looking at the results, the outcome, right? You reap what you sow. You're looking at the outcome of somebody giving 70%. Like everything you have, everything you are, everything you're doing, like it's 78. And what I need you to do is I need you to look at yourself in the mirror and say, come on, quit, stop playing. I deserve to see what my life would look like if I gave 120%. Now, I told a story years ago on YouTube, years ago, Dr. Maybank, Michigan State University. I'll never forget. She told this story, man, and it blew my mind, right? She took me back to kindergarten, and you got to get this in your spirit. Sister girl took me back to kindergarten, the hokey pokey, right? And so she telling the story of the hokey pokey and it's blowing my mind, right? And I'm telling it to you today because that's how important the story was. That's how salient it was. Like, it was impactful. It moved me, right? And she said in kindergarten, right? You learn in kindergarten that you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, right? You put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey, she said, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about, right? And so she started breaking the song down, and she said, first you put that left out, right? And then you go to the next level and you put that right out, right? Then she said, you put that left arm out, right? Right? You know the song. Then you go with that right arm, right? And then she said, but at the end, right? When it culminates, right? She said that the teacher tells you to put your whole self in. You got it. She said, put your whole self in, right? Put your whole self out, right? And shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. And listen to me very closely. I'm telling you from personal experience. I know what my life was like when I put in 55. I know what it was like when I didn't try. I know what my life was like when I didn't care. I know what my life was like when I didn't have any dreams or any goals. Like I didn't want anything. I know what my life was like. Now I'm putting in 120, baby. I'm putting in 120. Look at it. I'm putting in 120 and my life is sweet. My wife's life, my kids' life, my mama's life. Listen to me, my father. I'm in a Detroit Free Press and my parents are proud. Are you hearing me? When you put in 120, not only does it affect your life, it affects your family's life. It affects your friend's life. It affects your community's life. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? So I need you to do me a huge favor. Yep, this one is different. This one is the call of action. All right, I'm gonna put you on a 21-day challenge. I'm challenging you. If you listen to me, if you ain't brave enough to challenge yourself, if you ain't courageous enough to challenge yourself, I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you to get from where you are. I'm challenging you to stop settling. I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you to stop accepting the life that was given to you. And I'm challenging you for 21 days. I'm challenging you to give 120%. Are you hearing me? I'm challenging you now. And I want somebody at the end of this 21 day, I need somebody to send me a video. I need somebody to send me a video and just show me, E.T., you were 100% right. Like I put in 120% for 21 days. I did not fatigue. I did not give up. I did not give in, E. I did exactly what you told me to do, E. And look, boom, things changed. Like my marriage changed. My classroom changed. As a basketball player, my team changed. As a coach, the way my team responds, it changed, E.T., 120%. I want you to stop giving 70, stop giving 80, stop giving 90. You want to deserve to see what would happen if you gave 120%. All right. So a couple things I need you to do on this 21-day challenge, right? The first thing I need you to do for me is I need you to have a vision. I need you to have a vision of when you get to that 21 days, what do you want? What do you want to happen after that 21 days? What is dying in your life? Look, right now, what does mediocrity look like in your life? Look, what does defeat look like in your life? What are limitations? What are boundaries look like in your life? In 21 days, this won't look like it. My marriage won't look like this. My grades won't look like this. Are you hearing me? We're going to be better as a team. Our outcomes are going 21 days. I challenge you, 21 days to first cast a vision. What will your life look like after those 21 days? Listen to me. Do me a huge favor. 21 days. Do it right or don't do it. Yep, you heard what I said. For the next 21 days, do it right or don't do it. Stop half doing stuff. Stop putting forth 50% effort, 60%. Look, stop. Do it right or just don't do it at all. Are you hearing me? Do it right.
Knowing when an opportunity is right and when more preparation is needed. Be patient in knowing the difference between when the opportunity is right and when more work needs to be done. Remain alert, even if opportunity doesn't come right away. Keep looking. Be patient. Keep preparing for opportunities, even if there's a delay. Even if things aren't going just the way you think they should. Keep your disappointments at bay. Be prepared. Always be prepared. Don't let impatience allow you to give up. Take the little setbacks in stride. Don't let small disappointments discourage you. Don't let the little successes delude you. Avoid the emotional roller coaster that will always disrupt your plan.
Life is going smoothly, then the bottom falls out. Everything is coming up roses, then the bottom falls out. That life starts going your way finally, then the bottom falls out.
And when we begin to understand and know that, accepting that reality, that we will never ever have things just on an even keel all the time, that you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is.
You worked on a job 35 years and now you're laid off. You planned for life to work a certain way and then the bottom falls out. You're looking for this, and God sends that. That even though you love God, does not mean that the bottom will not fall out.
You might be going through a season, since darkness is the absence of a thing. You might be going through a season of the absence of a thing that you legitimately need, but it ain't over.
You have to be awfully immature to think that every day is going to be a good day. Some days are better than other days. And some days, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life.
You may have to function for a while without the absence of the thing you adore, but it's not over. It's just that God has created the treasures of darkness. And in order to create the treasures of darkness, he has to take away light so that he can incubate what he's about to do in your life.
It will be hard because life is hard. That's what life is. And these challenges, they're going to do their best to take you down. Do not let them. Stand up, dig in.
In the end, we are only as strong as the adversity that we overcome. The pain of the adversity will eventually subside, but the lesson will always remain. And that lesson will strengthen you to endure your next battle, this time stronger and wiser than before.
Line up those problems and confront them. Face them. Do not let them bring you down. In fact, let those challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. Let their demands and their trials make you stronger. Let the adversity you face today turn you into a better person tomorrow.
The way you handle your good years will determine if you survive the bad years. In other words, you must learn to maximize the positive. If you don't learn how to maximize the good times and minimize the bad times, then you won't make it through the famine.
Victory begins in the dark. And we all go through these times where we don't think it's going to work out. Seasons where nothing is changing. We're being our best, but the business is not growing. The fact is, light is on the way. What God promised you is en route. You've been believing for things to change in your marriage, your finances, with an addiction. It seems permanent. You've already entered a new day. You've already passed midnight. You can't see it yet, but victory is on the way.
Life and business is like the changing seasons. You cannot change the seasons. That's impossible. You can't rearrange the seasons. The seasons are going to come however they're going to come, and you cannot change that. So you cannot change the seasons. But make this note. You can change yourself. That was the message I got when I was 25 years old with someone who took the time to teach me. You can change yourself.
Now, instead of complaining about the dark, have a new perspective. The dark means the sun is on the way up. The promise is about to come forth. Who can stop the sun from rising each morning? Who can keep light from breaking forth over the horizon? All the forces of darkness cannot stop what God has ordained for you. They cannot keep what He promised from coming to pass. In the face of that darkness, when you don't see any light, get in agreement with God.
See, anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid. Anybody could be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. The real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. Somebody said that adversity introduces a man to himself or a woman.
Adversity is a gift. Embrace it. Trying to avoid adversity would be like trying to avoid the tide while swimming in the ocean. But like the ocean, if you can learn to embrace the tide of adversity, you will eventually learn to let it lift you up, and you can ride the wave to shore unscathed. And in that moment, take a look around, because the view that you have after you've overcome your adversity is absolutely breathtaking.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts you hate. If you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will.
Humans don't want to die because deep in their hearts, they know that they have not finished what they were born to start. That's why they don't want to die. When a person have discovered their purpose and have fulfilled their destiny, they welcome death. Death never threatens a human who discovers their purpose. The Apostle Paul, for example, was not afraid to die. As a matter of fact, the Apostle Paul died willfully. He decided to die. Let me quote him. I quote, "I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. I have been poured out like a drink offering, and there's nothing left for me to do. I am now ready to be offered." Wow. He had this clear confidence about death. So please write these statements down, please. Very important. First, I want to talk to you about purpose and destiny. Write the two words down. And I want to focus on, in this first segment, the laws of personal success from a kingdom perspective. Let's talk about success for a minute. Proceed. Now, success is something that every human wants. Everybody wants to succeed.
There's all kinds of different ways to break. You can break physically, you can break mentally, you can break your heart, you can break your spirit, and none of those are fun, and all of those are gonna leave a mark. But the mark that they leave can be the mark of victory, or it can be the mark of defeat. Because every time you break, and in every way that you break, while it's a chance, it's definitely a chance for you to give up and for you to just to fall apart. But there's also opportunity. There's opportunity to get stronger and get smarter and get faster and get tougher and get more stable and get more resilient and get better. When you break, you have the opportunity to show the world, the whole world, what you are really made of. So if you break, if you break, the fight isn't over. In fact, if you break, the fight is just beginning. And as you crawl up and out of that dismal and wretched place, covered, and you're covered in blood and sweat and dirt and filth as you rise above what you were, and as you take the form of who you are supposed to be. You will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain.
But for you to succeed in life, there are 5 questions you must answer. And every human being on earth is trying to answer these questions right now, including the person sitting in your chair right now. These 5 questions control the human race. These 5 questions motivate everything you do. These 5 questions are so powerful that they create everything in this planet that humans do. These 5 questions are the source of all of your problems. They are the source of all the crime in your city. They are the source of all of your broken homes and divorce. They are the source of all corruption. These 5 questions are the source of every problem a human faces, is in these 5 questions. In other words, our attempt to find the answer to these 5 questions is the cause of all of our behavior. As a matter of fact, you came here tonight and you're watching this program live around the world because of these 5 questions. I have reduced all of human life to 5 questions. Write them down. Number 1, who am I? It's a tough question to answer. Most people have never asked nor answered that question because it's a frightening question. The average human never answers that question. Who am I? The second question that you must answer to become successful in life is, where am I from? Where am I from? Again, 99% of the world's population never answers that question. That question has nothing to do with your ethnicity. Where am I from? The third question every human must answer to become successful on this planet is, why am I here? Why was I conceived? Why was I born? And I am certain that most of you sitting here in this room still have not answered that question. Why am I here on this planet? The fourth question every human must answer to be successful is, what can I do? What can I do? That question has to do with, what am I capable of? Again, over 90% of the world's population haven't answered that question. And the last question every human is grappling with is the question, where am I going?
I need you to die on E. You heard what I said, die on E. E.T., what you talking about? Die on E. I ain't no car. Man, I remember when I was young, my first whip, I had a blue Escort. That's right, a blue Escort, right? And I'm gonna tell you something, man. My car broke down. I never forget the day it broke down. I had filled the car up, that's right, with gas. I had gotten an oil change. Listen to me, I had an oil change and the car was almost on full. And when that car died, I had about 40 bucks in that car. Are you hearing me? You heard what I said. Die on E. When you die, when life is over for you. Are you hearing me? I don't want you to have one idea left in you. I don't want one dream left in you. When you die, I want you to go for broke. Every CD that you were supposed to do, every book you were supposed to write, every degree you were supposed to get. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Everything you were supposed to accomplish. When you die, don't go to the grave with nothing. When you die, die on E. And what I mean is, I want you to give everything you got. I want you to, listen to me, full potential. I want you to get everything out your system. So that's number 1. You got, my boy Alex put it like this. The reason why you guys are going to separate yourself from everybody else if you die on E, because most people that are alive are living on neutral. They driving in neutral. They operating in neutral. So I want you to get out of neutral and put it in drive. I need you to transition from the I to the A. That's right, I said it, transition from the I. And what's an I? The I is an idea. That's all it is, it's an idea. So I want us to do more A than I. That's right, I want us to live in the A and not the I. What do I mean by that? Some people, man, they got an idea and all you do is talk, talk, talk. Every time you get an idea, you pick up the phone, you call your homegirl, you three-way, you get on conference call, and you getting excited about your idea. All right? You telling your mama about it, your daddy about it, and there's more life in you when you talk about the idea than you put any action in it. Are you hearing me? So do me a huge favor. Write the idea down and then shut up. You heard what I said. Write the idea down and shut up. You ain't got to share your idea with 50 people. Write the idea down and boom, get to stepping, baby. Get to the action. Because listen to me very closely. Your success is not determined on just what you say. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you got to speak stuff into existence. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I'm telling you, you can't talk about it all the time. You got to be about it.